Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us. This week we're up in Boston and we're interviewing some of the high-tech leaders here in the New England area. And on our program today is Mark Edwards, who's the CEO of Aylus Networks. Mark, hello. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thanks for being here. And I was hoping to ask if you could give us an overview of what your company does.
Sure. So Aylus is a company that is involved in the real-time video processing market. And we have a switch, a media switch, and we also have a media processing platform that does transcoding, transizing, transrating the video. And what this enables us to do is to allow carriers to implement communication services that use video.
Now, if you look at it, the wireless operators, what sorts of challenges are you seeing them dealing with when it comes to mobile video, and what are they doing about those challenges?
Well, clearly there are a lot of challenges. I mean, a big focus of the industry today is to make the networks faster. The devices are getting more and more powerful, more capable. A lot of that is about multimedia. It's about enabling multimedia content, and it's about enabling video. The projections for the growth of data are very much around the growth of video in this market. And so the carriers are facing issues in terms of network congestion. How do they process the video optimally? How do they deal with the issues of varying bandwidth? Obviously, the bandwidth that a user experiences can change at a point in time based on many factors, based on signal strength, based on how many people are attached to a cell. And so the carrier needs to deal with all of that and provide a good customer experience. They also face issues in terms of how do they integrate these services? How do they enrich communication in a way that's very natural? It's a very natural evolution of a voice call. There are lots of different things happening in this market. You've got various over-the-top services appearing, like FaceTime and Skype. I'm sure will come out with a service, and so the carrier needs to have their offering, and it needs to be very tightly integrated with their infrastructure.
Now, are there opportunities for mobile carriers in the video space?
Yes, absolutely. I think it falls into two areas. So I think, firstly, the carrier is a network delivering services to users over the data network. And that data network, there's a lot of over-the-top players in the market, a lot of apps, a lot of content. I think it's very hard for the carrier to compete in that area because there are just so many players and moving so quickly. But they need to make sure that they can monetize the network intelligently and use the resources in the network efficiently. So I think it's been interesting in the last few weeks, the talk about tiered services. You've seen the Comcast and Level 3 discussions about charging termination fees of traffic, and that's on a cable wireline network. And it's almost an inevitable consequence, I believe, that carriers are going to start to move towards tiered services in the wireless space.
Right.
And so obviously video is going to be one of the services that starts to use different tiers that the carrier might offer. The CEO of Verizon has been talking about this recently as well, the notion of how they will charge for data being more based on a tiered services model. And I think that's the way the industry is going to go. So in order to do that, the carrier needs to have a platform that can manage the content, optimize it, and deliver a guaranteed quality of experience to the user.
So tell me a little bit about the products your company provides.
So we have a very powerful product, which is a combination of a switch and a media processing platform, sometimes referred to as a media resource function. And it really allows the carrier to introduce a variety of services using that platform. So one example would be a real-time enterprise service to allow one-way video streaming from a mobile device to a portal, and that portal can be redirected to any IP-based screen. So, examples of where that might be used. If we take a broadcast news service, TV news service, let's say like CNBC, their business and their revenue is based on advertising, and the amount of advertising revenue they can generate is based on how much news they can capture and how many news exclusives that they can show on their channel. They're limited by the number of camera crews that they have. So if they can turn every employee into a mobile camera person, and be able to capture news where and wherever it's happening around the world, and have that go over the wireless network, and with a guaranteed QoE and the ability to be able to then show that on the TV in real time, that has a very meaningful impact to their business. Other examples using this enterprise area, things like field repairs, and being able to have an expert in the back office participate in the process and input their expertise into getting something fixed. Insurance claims assessment would be another area. So this is one area, the enterprise providing a real-time solution for one-way video in the enterprise. In the consumer market, consumers may also wish to either share video, share an experience, could be one way, and the video could be displayed on any IP screen. Two-way video calling, is another area, another product offering that which Aylus is very interested to provide solutions for.
But that would be competitive to some of the things that you mentioned a little bit earlier, like a Skype solution or something from Apple, like a FaceTime?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, we can really do two things. Firstly, we can enable the carrier to implement their version of the service. I think invariably, video calling, it is a communication service. That is the core of the carrier's business. Maybe with apps and content, it's going to be hard for them to really own that business. They need to just monetize the network more effectively for data. But at least for core communication services, it's crucial that they have their response, their offering for video calling. It is a superset of a voice call. If they seed the video call, then the voice call is that's the next thing that is going to be very vulnerable. That's not to say that these over-the-top solutions won't also have a place in the market. I believe that they will. I think they will coexist. They're providing slightly different propositions to customers. In some cases, these over-the-top services are providing access and communication between communities of users, people who are using a particular service. One of the things that the carrier can offer in this environment is interconnection between different clouds. So, for example, if somebody's using a Skype service, somebody else maybe they're using a FaceTime communication service who are recently claiming that they're going to be going into this market as well, then the carrier could be the point of interworking, interconnection between these different clouds. So that's another service that they could, another position that they could fulfill. Now, at Aylus, we're interested in providing solutions for the carrier. We can also provide solutions for over-the-top companies to, for example, allow them to monetize their offering and extend their revenue streams by, for example, delivering services to enterprises where they need manageability, they need control, there are security issues and vulnerabilities which are exposed with peer-to-peer networks. We can address some of those issues and provide them a way of delivering their offering within the context of an enterprise.
And who uses these products? Like, what can you name some of the companies?
So we'll sell to carriers. We have a number of tier 1 carriers. We've not yet announced who they are.
I know sometimes they get touchy about that.
Well, we just have to get their permission before we do that, and we will announce in due course who the customers are. Over-the-top players who are providing communication services, equipment vendors who are providing various different elements in the switching network. These are the sorts of companies that we are focused on selling to.
Now, are there any speed or capacity gains to be achieved by working with your company?
Yes. So we optimize the video delivery to the device and ensure that only the number of pixels that can be rendered on the device and processed in terms of audio are transmitted. So we can typically save between 40 and 80% of the network bandwidth based on our optimization solutions. So we can do things like adaptive bitrate streaming, which can cater for the variance in the resource of the network and the bandwidth that's available. We could do transcoding to change the format from one format to another, depending on what is supported and what the optimal format is available to be used. And we can also do transizing, so that if, for example, some content is coming from a a large device and going to a smaller device, then clearly there aren't as many pixels on the smaller device, so we can transize it appropriately for the smaller device.
Now, for non-live video, do you typically store multiple versions of a file, or is everything done on the fly?
Well, we can do it either way. One of the strengths that we have is that we are a very scalable, real-time processing system. So if you were broadcasting, for example, in real time content, then we can do it all. We don't have to pre-process it, and so there are certain examples where it would have to be real time. There are other instances where you could pre-process the content, but it gives you the flexibility.
What's the next thing for the company? What's coming?
So the next thing is we're just really very much in an execution mode. We've done quite a number of deals in 2010. There's a lot of opportunity we see in the coming year. This is a very big area of focus in the industry. There's a lot of activity going on around rich communication services. The carriers are investing a lot in IMS networks and a lot of activity in IMS, and so we're one of the services that would also run in that environment. So it's very much an execution phase for the business and expanding our customer base.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for being on the program. This is great.
Thank you.